So we're just going to head up the slope here. The important point about Showdown Town is that when you first start the game, like Mark says, we don't want to overwhelm the player from any aspect. You're restricted just to the central square initially. The reason that is because the shopping cart that you're given here has very limited abilities, and it doesn't have the high grip tyres at the start, so you couldn't have got up that steep slope. As you beat Grunty in the boss battles throughout the game, you have what we call key component upgrades to the cart, and you can see some of the extra components on this cart here. And that allows you access to further parts of town. It allows you to essentially progress through the game. So this character here, just briefly mention him. His name is Log, otherwise known as the Lord of Games, and he boldly claims to have created every video game known to man. And he's seen Grunty and Banjo squabbling in the previous games, and he wants to kind of sort out their differences once and for all. So what he's done is he's basically created some artificial game worlds, and they're inside what we call game globes here, this kind of glass sphere. And so what we need to do is we need to take this across Showdown Town to what we call the game globe plinth. What will happen then is doors will open to this game world, and we can enter the world in order to compete in these challenges and win jiggies. And the more jiggies we win, the more doors will open around town, and that's essentially how progression is controlled. So now that I've got it in my cart, I'm just going to head back down the slope into the square. So watch out for the townsfolk here. They're not exactly the smartest people on the planet. Okay, so one of the other component upgrades I've had to the cart are the floats on the side, which allow it to be able to cross water. It's only a sort of primitive boat, but it's good enough to get around town, and again, it does allow access to new areas of the town. In the top right-hand corner, you'll see the icons there indicating which buttons are mapped to what components, and the B is actually on the float. So what I need to do here is if I press B, you'll see the floats will actually deflate, and I'll actually then be able to go under the water in the cart. Now the globe will actually float, so that's going to kind of stay there, but if I go under the water, I can get out the other side, and using kthrough and the magic wrench, I can actually then manipulate this switch here. Now what this is going to do is lower the water level and allowing me to get the globe underneath that tunnel. So this kind of demonstrates some of the maybe sort of the adventure aspect and more platforming elements of the game.
So the level that we're looking at here this is quite advanced, it's quite a distance into the game, and it's one of the later levels that we're showing here for the first time actually. So it's a little more involved than...
Yeah, the location of the plinths kind of vary throughout the game. So like the first one that you'll get given is very simple and very easy to do, and then like Mark says, as you progress through it does get a little bit more tricky to actually figure out exactly where you've got to take this globe. So I'm going to pick it up now, and this is the plinth here. As soon as it makes contact, what will happen is the plinth will activate, and we'll have a quick cutscene showing the game world doors around the town which are now open to us. Now all of these doors actually take us inside that artificial world that Log's created, and this is a new level called the Terrarium. Now you see these first doors are all open straight away. We can go in here and compete in whatever challenges there may be. The last door actually isn't open yet, it's what we call active. The way that works is that every door actually has a jiggy score associated with it, and only upon reaching that jiggy score will the door become open. So if I just hop back in the cart here, we can just jump over the wall there, and we can head inside one of these doors to compete in one of the challenges. So this is act number 2. You can see some details there about how many challenges and so on are actually inside the level.